we request Sri P. Lakshmi Narayan of Vedanta Institute, Delhi, to garland Ranganji on behalf of all of us here.
ज्ञानेन आकाशकल्पेन धर्मान्यो गगनोपमान् ज्ञेया भेदेन सम्बुद्धः तं वन्दे द्विपदाम्बरम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Ramayana is a dharma shastra, a scripture of dharma. What is dharma? Dharma in Sanskrit dictionary is nature. Anything which is inherent within us, which is natural, is dharma. This is what we see in dictionary. So the values that are found in Ramayana, they are taken to be dharmas in general. They are supposed to be inherent within us. They are natural. This is what the scriptures tell us. What is natural? To be in peace, to be in harmony, to love others. All these things are natural to us. This is our understanding. Our understanding means this is the Shastric understanding. This is the Vedic and Vedantic understanding. But modern psychology doesn't tell like that. Hope you know Sigmund Freud. He talks about 3 principles. Hope you are familiar with these 3 terms of Sigmund Freud. Id, ego, and superego. Id is a pleasure principle. Id is hidden within our heart or within our mind. What is this id? An instinct to cut others, beat others, cheat others, being petty, being selfish. This is id. In Freudian psychology, he calls this to be the nature of human beings. And he tells something called superego. What is the superego? Morality is imposed upon us. Society expects us to be moral, good, virtuous, righteous. Therefore, we need to behave in a righteous way, virtuous way. No other way, no other go. It's a compulsion. Society superimposed upon us morality and value and virtue, which is very artificial, which is not inherent within us. And somehow, between the struggle of this id and superego, pettiness and morality, someone is striking a balance, and that someone is called as ego. These are the 3 principles based on which Freudian psychology is established. It's not just a Freudian telling or saying. This is the base, this is the foundation of Freudian psychology. Now comes a question, what is right? Is Freud right or is Vedanta right? That question comes. Yeah, Freud is right. We experience it normally. Like some children are sitting. Normally, when I address the children, I can give this example, they can easily understand. If there is a power cut, they will be very happy. They will start to shout. It's because in the darkness, one can pinch the other. Okay. One can beat the other. All these things can happen. These are the ugly things within us. We have controlled all those things and we are just sitting because the society expects us to sit in this way. Okay. So what Freud says must be right. He has to be right. So many filthy things are hidden within us. This is what he says. But when you come to the Eastern philosophies, probably except Lokayata, all other philosophies, not only Vedanta, but also Sankhya or Mimamsa or Nyaya or Vaiseshika or mainly Yoga and Vedanta, they all say that purity is inherent, divinity is inherent. They are not telling that this pettiness is inherent. Again, the question comes, what is right? Before answering what is right, let me take another thing. What is positive among the two? Because we will become that which we contemplate. Yet bhavam tad bhavati. Mahantam vibhumatmanam matva dhirona sochati, Kathopanishad says. Mahantam vibhum atmanam. When I contemplate myself as infinite, I become infinite. I am infinite. If I contemplate myself as petty, selfish, always concentrating only on pettiness and selfishness, I will become more and more selfish. But if I start to contemplate on my purity, then I grow purer and purer. I enhance my purity. So, no doubt, purity is inherent. This philosophy, this understanding is very positive. It's a very positive approach. Instead of thinking myself to be, instead of thinking that impurity is inherent, pettiness is inherent. When I start to think pettiness is inherent, impurity is inherent, then what happens? Gradually I become impure. And if the whole of the society is thinking that impurity is inherent, the whole of the society can turn impure. This can lead to danger. And what Swami Vivekananda took as a message from India to the West, when he is addressing in his Chicago address, all of us know how he addressed the audience, sisters and brothers of United States of America. After that, what he said, many of us don't know. Very important message he gave to the world, especially the Western world, which in many aspects changed the Western approach of life. Whether Swami Vivekananda is properly acknowledged or not by the West. Without their own knowledge, their approach to life got gradually changed. Those small talks of Swami Vivekananda in Chicago are very, very important. They are like sutra. In that sutra, in the first talk, he talks about the inclusivity of the Hindu religion. He goes there only as a Hindu monk. And he says, I thank by the name of the mother of all religions. This is how he starts. And he also is talking about how India accepted all the faiths, how India invites all the faiths and all the spiritual paths. He gives example after example how the Jews came to India and settled in Cochin, did not return even now. Okay, when Israel got freedom, Israel became a Jewish country only after Swami Vivekananda, I think. They announced all Jews from the world can come back to Israel. But Jews who stay in Cochin, in Kerala, they never returned. They said that we are very comfortable here in India. He is also talking about how Zoroastrians, Persians, when their scripture Zend Avastha was burnt and when they were thrown out of their own land, they took refuge in India and they are up to our times very, very safe in India with their scripture, with their faith, with their rituals. Like this, India becomes a shelter of various faiths. We can go on add. Even after Swami Vivekananda, you see the great saint, Dalai Lama. When Tibet was captured, when Tibet is no more a Buddha's land, Buddhist land, when Dalai Lama came out of Tibet, he could have gone to Japan, a Buddhist land which is more advanced than India, more developed than India. He could have gone to Sri Lanka, various other Buddhist lands, but Dalai Lama prefers to be in a Hindu land, that is India. Why? These are not coincidental things. Definitely, this has something to do with the magnanimity of Hindu culture, Indian culture, which we all know as unity in diversity. Swami Vivekananda goes on talking about all these things, finally ending his lecture with Sarvadeva Namaskaraha Keshavam Pratigacchati. This is a daily recitation in Sandhya Vandana of Hindus, he says. It's a very nice, short and sweet lecture. And another short and sweet lecture, he was given again time to talk. There he brought another very important issue. He openly says, it is a sin to call the soul as sinner. Okay. If you see sin as inherent, then it is a very negative approach towards the self and the life based on self. Impurity is our nature. It's not just Sigmund Freud's thought. Unconsciously, I use his own words, his own jargon, unconscious. Unconsciously, this thought of Sigmund Freud is connected to his faith. Sin is inherent, sin is original. Sin is the nature. See, yeah, sin is there in the world, no doubt. We see sin in front of us. But if you make sin original and inherent, if you contemplate the inheritance of sin, if you go on contemplate on your own original sin, you consider sin as original, then due to our contemplation, the sin will remain, impurity will remain, based on the sutra, yad bhavam tad bhavati. Okay. On the other hand, Upanishad gives a wonderful vision that, yeah, we accept the sins are there, they are only the peripheral layer of a human being. In the core, here, every soul is pure. Every soul, in transactional sense, I say, soul is pure, that's enough. Soul is pure, self is pure. That's the message, or that's the concept which Upanishad gives, and the same concept Swami Vivekananda took to the Western world, which was very, very revealing to the Western world. It's just like a revelation, because they never heard about it, to my knowledge. Probably long before Swami Vivekananda, what is his name? Bruno or Spinoza must have talked about it. For talking about it, Bruno was burnt alive in 1600, because he was talking against their faith in Europe. Okay, like Copernicus or Galileo, we all know how they were killed. We may not know about the philosophers who were killed in Europe. I'm talking about them. Bruno was burned alive just because he proclaimed that God is infinite, because it was not their faith, for your information. In due course of time, after several centuries, Swami Vivekananda happened to talk the same philosophy, not in Europe, but in America now. It has become a revelation to them. They all shed tears of joy with goosebumps after Vivekananda's talk. Of course, now we are sitting in Vivekananda's land. Moreover, I just want to inform you, you may be knowing, coincidentally, we are starting our program Subhash Chandra Bose's birthday, Bose Jayanti. Okay. And I don't know that today is Bose Jayanti. I didn't know. When I came to the airport, Kolkata, from Kolkata airport to this place, I could see so many cutouts of Swami of Subhash Chandra Bose, and I could also see that today is Bose Jayanti, Subhash Jayanti. So, such a wonderful coincidence, and let us all dedicate this, what to say, Ramayana retreat for the great souls Subhash Chandra Bose Jayanti, this great man, the great leader Subhash Chandra Bose. And among various versions of Subhash Chandra Bose history, there is one version that Subhash Chandra Bose, in his last days, lived in Ayodhya. How many of you know this? Anyone? None, okay? Yeah, but this is a well-known version, of course. There was a saint in Ayodhya named Gumnami Baba. Okay. And this saint, even now, many people in Ayodhya believe that he was Subhash Chandra Bose in his final days. Subhash Chandra Bose, after announcing his death in a plane crash, he went to Russia, from Russia to Tibet. He roamed in Tibet for several years as a monk, and finally came to Ayodhya, and in Ayodhya he remained as a Ramanandi, a Rama devotee. Finally, in the bank of river Sarayu, especially in a place called Guptar Ghat, where it is believed that Rama left the mortal world at the end. In the same place, Subhash also left the mortal world, and even now Gumnami Baba Samadhi is found in Ayodhya. Generally, people come there. Coming back to the point, so somehow Subhash Chandra Bose has some connection with Ramachandra, so this Ramayana retreat can be dedicated to him. Okay, I was telling that considering taking the self to be pure, considering the inheritance of purity within one's own self, is a positive approach to life. Fine. The question comes, is it true? What is true? Well, we see Freudian approach that also appears to be true. I have given the example. When there is a power cut, children are happy, they shout because they can do anything. They can pinch each other. Here also, to show the purity of the self, I can give one more example. An interesting example. It really happened in Washington, D.C. Some Indian got settled newly. He was driving. In front of him, some those birds, ostriches, okay. In Tamil we call as Vangori. A family of ostriches is walking. Around 8 to 10 ostriches are walking. And as per the law of that land, one should not wait. He can just dash and cross them. He need not wait. He should not wait. Okay. But this man who went to Washington, D.C. newly, he stopped the car, waiting for ostriches to cross. He knows that it is against the law, but his conscience did not give way for him to do that. What is going to happen? They will ask for some fine. It's fine. Let us pay the fine. He was just waiting. Slowly all ostriches have gone. They did not run. They did not rush. Then he was about to start the car. He could see several persons around the car. They were all behind him. They all left their cars, their vehicles, and they came to him. He thought they are going to scold him. That's what he thought. He opened the door and asked what? They all were giving him a standing ovation. Why? No, you respected your conscience and you respected the life. See, even in a land where the law says that you can dash the animals which are running in front of you, the people, I don't think any scripture tells them, any law tells them to respect that life. But by nature, these people, they give standing ovation to this gentleman who allowed the ostriches to cross that place. This shows that purity must be inherent. Let me give another example, a very interesting example. It's a demonstration. Probably you may experiment it. Take any uncomplicated novel or drama or epic. Okay. In the beginning, no director. You watch a film, uncomplicated film. In the beginning, no director comes and introduces to you who is hero, who is heroine, who is villain of this film. Nowhere it happens. But we ourselves understand. Okay. By seeing that film, we ourselves understand this guy is a hero. In Harry Potter is a hero. And who is a villain? Yarappa? Voldemort is villain. This is the understanding. But the author doesn't tell that. Okay. We all understand. And almost for all uncomplicated novels, this understanding is universal. Today's topic is universal relevance of Ramayana. This understanding is universal. Nobody understands the other way around. Yeah, Harry Potter is villain. Nobody sees in that way. With a very great effort, with a very great twisting mind, you have to reinterpret, you have to twist that Harry Potter to be villain and Voldemort to be hero. Generally, people don't take in that way. Anyone with a plain mind, if he goes through Paradise Lost, he can understand Jehovah to be hero and Saturn to be villain. With the twisted idea, you can change. That's a different thing. It's a different thing. You can see in a different way too. But any novel has a hero. What is the lakshana of a hero? Lakshana? Qualification. What is the qualification of a hero? What's the qualification of villain? Even a child which knows in general the world, which can understand the world around, if you narrate a short story, the child can understand who is the hero of that short story and who is the villain of that short story. One may tell, we can understand him as a hero who is a central figure. Central figure may not be hero. May not be. For example, in Shakespeare's Macbeth is a central figure. I don't know whether he can be called as hero or villain turned hero. You need to call him as villain turned hero. I think in Paradise Lost too, even though Jehovah is hero, Saturn is a central figure. Yes. Saturn is a central figure. The same way, if you write a kavyam or a novel about Duryodhana, making Duryodhana as a central figure of that novel, people will understand him to be a villain, not to be a protagonist, not to be a hero. Wicked is always seen as villain. Please understand, whether he is a central figure or not. But hero need not be always a central figure. Hero's minimum lakshana, minimum qualification. Okay. At least in the second part of the movie, at least in the ending part of the movie, he should not disturb others. This is the minimum qualification of a hero. Okay. And the maximum qualification of a hero, he should be a very great contributor for universal welfare. Okay. This is the expectation. This is a universal expectation. Regarding villain, minimum qualification of a villain is this: at least he should disturb the hero. Maximum, he should be a universal terrorist. He should be the cause of several bomb threats, killing innocents. Okay, this is there. This is a universal. This universal understanding, nobody taught us. Please understand. It's not that someone came and taught us. My dear, you should understand him to be hero, that guy to be villain. You should understand the universal terrorist to be villain and the contributor in universal welfare to be hero. Nobody teaches us this. But someone, if you confess someone is forgiving you, long before 2000 years, he was crucified, therefore he forgives you. It is taught. Without an external teaching, it cannot come to us. It's good. I'm not telling it's bad, but it is external. It's a kind of a news. They call it as a good news. Yeah, it's a good news. If someone is there to forgive us, if we confess, and someone is bearing our sins, even before 2000 years, it's a good news. Any news has to come from the outside world. If that news is not coming to us from outside world, we don't understand it. We by ourselves don't know it. This is significantly different from that. What I am telling is significantly different from that. Without anyone's interference, we understand the contributor in universal welfare to be a great hero, and the universal terrorist to be a great villain. This is interesting. So definitely it is inherent. I don't know. Probably a neurophysiologist may find some chemical or some dopamine or something to be the cause of this kind of understanding. I don't know. Coming back to the point, okay, let us now, before going to Ramayana, let us now take the characteristics of a hero. Minimum qualification, I said, to be, he should at least in the final scenes of a movie should change and should not disturb the society. Maximum contributor of universal welfare. Fine. In this, we see various kinds of heroes, and our Sahityakaras, Sahityakara means literary critic, criticism. Criticism is very old in India, for your information. Maybe some 1500 years old. Okay, literary criticism. Literary criticism is new in Europe, in the Western world. Especially the idea of tone is very new. The idea of tone is of T.S. Eliot. Have you heard of T.S. Eliot? Yes. T.S. Eliot brought this idea of tone in literary criticism from India. T.S. Eliot was highly influenced by India. He himself tells that. Say, for example, in his brilliant work, Wasteland, he concludes that work with the of Prajapati. This is from Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Dama, Dana, and Daya. With these same terms, he concludes his work, Wasteland. And finally, this Wasteland ends with Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. In fact, Eliot was highly influenced by India, no doubt. He took this idea of a tone from India, which we Indians call as Dhoni. Dhoni the idea of Dhoni was born in India, that too in Kashmir, for your information. The text named Dhonyaloka by Anandavardhana, yes. And Rasagangadhara, all these texts, even Abhinavagupta, they all are the great analysts of this idea of Dhoni, this concept of Dhoni, even before a millennium. Okay. Only in previous century, this idea entered into Europe from India. They have analyzed various kinds of heroes, various kinds of personalities. There is one kind of hero, the villain has disturbed his family or himself. Throughout the movie or throughout the play, this hero will take revenge. That's all. Because of this, he is a hero. He doesn't have any other job. Okay. His only work is to take revenge of his villain. And such a kind of hero, for this, the personality trait will be like this. He will be very rough and tough. He will be very strong kind of person. Such kind of hero is called as Uddhata Nayaka. Uddhatana, Dhirodhata, they say. This is one kind of heroism. Another hero, throughout the play or throughout the movie, he will be going on loving. Okay. Love is predominant in his life. Loving a girl. Okay. He must be mostly a teen, and he will be going on loving a girl throughout the novel. Say, very famous Romeo and Juliet. Okay. This is another kind of Nayaka Lakshana. This is Lalita Nayaka. He is called as Lalita Nayaka. And a more elevated Nayaka, another one, he is called as Shanta Nayaka. What is the Shanta Nayaka's Lakshana? He is a saintly hero. Okay, he is a saint. Dhira Shanta. With all these things, a prefix Dhira is added. Dhirodhata, Dhira Lalita, and Dhira Shanta. What is this Dhira Shanta's Lakshana? Buddha, one of the best examples. A saintly, we may not call him as hero, right? But Nayaka, we can call him as a protagonist. Huh? Protagonist. If someone writes a life history of Buddha, or since it is Bengal, I can tell Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or Sri Ramakrishna, Sant Tukaram, his hagiography. They can be called, if their history is written, if his biography is written, Sant Tukaram or Buddha can be called as a Dhira Shanta Nayaka. Okay, saintly. He aspires liberation, he does tapasya, he gives various advices. Okay. These are the three kinds of Nayakas. Okay. Three kinds of heroes. The fourth one is a very interesting thing. Among these three, if you ask this question, which category Ramayana belongs to? Which category the hero of Ramayana belongs to? All is a very, very nice response. Very nice response. You are closer to the answer. Closer to the answer. The fourth category, the literary critics tell, as if they developed this personality trait theory by seeing Ramachandra. Must be, because definitely Ramayana is older than all these literary criticism. Even Mahabharata is older. So you see in Rama, the fourth personality trait, it is called as Udatta Nayaka. Dhirodatta. Okay. Neither his only one trait is to take revenge, to be hard always, nor he is always a romancing person. Okay. Neither he is always very shanta, always very saintly. If someone understands Rama to be always very saintly, it is wrong. And our Sri Ramachandran, Sri Ramaswamy, Sri Ramaswamy ji, he gave me title. He only had chosen these titles for this retreat. And interestingly, all those titles perfectly match with my ideas. Okay. And I appreciate his way of understanding the epic. Because only in these topics I prefer to mainly talk. Okay. Such kind of topics he has given. Therefore, I never change. I think I have never changed any topic. Yeah. These are all very preferable topics to me too. Among these topics, the next topic will be human side of Rama. Second topic, leadership lessons. Another top evening, I think. Third topic, human side of Rama. If someone thinks Rama is Dhira Shanta, it is wrong. If someone thinks that Rama is a saintly person, it is wrong. I'm not telling that Shanti or Shantatva is not found in Rama. As most of you responded that Rama is all, I'm coming to that place. If you go through the personality traits of Dhirodatta Nayaka, the fourth one, Udatta Nayaka, he is valorous, strong, steadfast, as well as adaptive, and highly responsible, compassionate, Kripavana, Avikathanaha, how to translate? Less interested in gossips. Okay, Avikathanaha. These are the features of a Udatta Nayaka. Okay. Rama is such a kind of person. When you see these features, you can understand it's a kind of a balance of the remaining three. Uddhata, Shanta, and Lalita. He strikes a balance of the remaining three. And the physical features are also mentioned in literary criticism. I don't know how. He has to be tall, well built. That's why I thought they must have designed this Dhirodatta Nayaka personality traits on seeing Ramachandra. Seeing Ramachandra. And I think our people, especially Tamilians, all of India is like that, especially Tamilians, loved Rama like anything. From Parantaka Chola, whatever Rama temples we have in Tamil Nadu, you go and see the idols of those temples. They are well designed. Perhaps they are the most beautiful idols of the world to show a human personality. The most beautiful sculptures of the world. Parutiyur Rama, Vadur Rama, Thilavalaham Rama. I heard from a person in Tamil Nadu. He is nowadays well known in TN, Mr. T.R. Ramesh. You may be familiar with him. You may be knowing him. He said to me in his personal talk, normally kings on those days, when they built a Rama temple, They did not accept the sculpture till it is carved to its excellence, to its highest perfection. Okay. They wanted the most handsome sculpture for Ramachandra. Madhurantakam. Now it's well known, hope you know. Madhurantakam. Madhurantakam is a talk of the day in TN now for some vital reasons. And all these temples, when you go and see Ramachandra, Ram Parivar especially, Ram Parivar, these are the most beautiful sculptures, at least of India. I don't know about the world. So the physical structure, it has to be tall and well built. Okay. This kind of hero, Maharshi Valmiki presents in front of us. And the epic starts in a very grand as well as a simple way. Very interesting. It talks about the fundamental human values. To my knowledge, which is very little, no novel in the world, no epic in the world, other than Ramayana, starts in this style. Talking about some human values of a hero, of a protagonist. Even other Ramayanas don't start in this way. There are so many Ramayanas, right? How Adhyatma Ramayana starts? There is a Sanskrit text named Adhyatma Ramayana. I am not talking about Kilipot Adhyatma Ramayana. Another Sanskrit text named Adhyatma Ramayana. How it starts? It all starts in Kailas. In Kailasa, Parvati Devi approaches Lord Shiva and asks the question, you are always chanting the name of Rama, but why he is crying, weeping, missing Sita? Then Lord Shiva responds, in reality, he doesn't have all these kinds of miseries. He just enacts. That's why it starts. And it talks with a very big theology, which is made of Vedanta, of course. Vedanta-based theology. Adhyatma Ramayana. Of course, Adhyatma Ramayana represents Vedanta, no doubt. But on the other hand, Valmiki doesn't start his epic with theology. Maharshi Valmiki asks several questions. He submits several questions to Narada. This is how the epic starts. The questions are very direct, very simple, and short. You will never expect such a huge epic guiding a nation for millennium. Millennia? What's the plural? Millennia. Such an epic to start in such a simple way. Very composed, very simple. How? Konvasmin sampratam loke gunavan. Jnatum evam vidam naram. I want to know about a person with virtues, gunavan. Kascha viryavan. With the virya has two meanings. One, a strong conviction. Another one, valor. Dharmagyascha. I want to know about a person who is a knower of dharma. Kritagyascha. Man of gratitude. Satyavakyaha. A man of truthfulness. Dridhavartaha. Highly principled. Charitrena chako yuktaha. A man of character. Sarva bhuteshu kohitaha. Who aspires universal welfare. who is wise, Vidwan Kaha, and who is able, Kas Samarthascha, Kascha Eka Priyadarsanaha. It has two meanings. Who is lovely in sight. This is one meaning. Another meaning, who has a darshanam of love to all beings. Kascha eka priya darshanaha. Who has only the eye of love to all beings. Kascha eka priya darshanaha. Atmavan kaha, who is a realized soul. See, unexpectedly this word comes here. Atmavan kaha, jitakrodaha, who has conquered the rage. Ditiman kaha, who is luminous. Ditiman kaha, anasuya kaha, who is devoid of hatred or jealousy. These are the questions Maharshi Valmiki submits to Maharshi Narada. Very interesting. And the topic is very direct. Why direct? See, the same Anandavartana, while explaining a kavya, okay, we may take Ramayana as a shastram, Ramayana also as an itihasa. These are all true. In fact, today's lecture I started Ramayana as a dharma shastra. I also see Ramayana as a shastra. These are all true. But Valmiki calls this text as a kavya. Please understand. He is the author. He is very modest. He is very modest. He doesn't talk a lot about his work. He never uses the word Shastra anywhere to show this epic. Okay, Shastra, those are all big things. Let me get confined. This is my text. Let me call it as a kavya. This status is enough for my text. A kavya of Maharshi Valmiki can guide the humanity significantly higher than any other Shastra of the world. Okay. Before I think some 15 years, in a NCERT journal named Journal of Value and Education, a questionnaire was prepared, and this questionnaire was offered to several thousands of children throughout India regarding education. Among some 100 questions, one of the questions is, which story you like the most? And it's a great surprise that most of the children have written Ramayana. I saw this paper. This paper was written by Michael Danino. You may be knowing this name. Okay. Still, India is like this. Still. See, the grannies who have to narrate the bedtime stories are in Vrdhashramas. Still, Ramayana continues to be the most favorite story to the children. This is a very great surprise. Okay. And another paper I saw somewhere. I did not prepare today to talk all these things. Therefore, I did not bring the reference. Another very important paper. TTD. Have you heard of this name? Tirupati Tirumala Devasthana. Those people wanted to serve the tribal villages of Andhra Pradesh. And they prepared a questionnaire. They wanted to build a temple in each tribal village. Which god or what goddess they have to install? they asked the people of those tribal villages. I don't have percentage and all. I did not prepare and come. Most of the tribal villages preferred Rama temple in their villages in Andhra Pradesh. I can go on, give examples after examples how Rama is loved like anything by Indians, Indonesians, Thais. Okay. How and why? See, okay, before that, Valmiki calls his text only as a kavya. There I elucidated. A kavya can touch the heart more than dozens of shastras. Valmiki is modest to call his. Even in Palasruti, I am surprised in Valmiki Ramayana, in Palasruti, nowhere it is told that Ramayana will give moksha. Okay, it's very interesting. He talks about how family people will be reunited by reading or learning or listening to Ramayana. Kutumba Vruddhim, Dhanadhanya Vruddhim, Striyascha Mukhya, how women in family will be very happy. Sukhamuttamam cha. And it talks about Ayushya and Ayushyam Arogyakaram Yasasyam. If you see even the same Ramayana, like Adhyatma Ramayana or Ramcharitamanas, definitely you can see the promise of moksha. But the torchbearer, Maharshi Valmiki, how he missed it. After learning Ramayana, you will go to the ultimate Brahman. These kinds of statements are not there in Ramayana. The author is very modest. Okay. Why I am telling about this? Yeah, Kavya status of Valmiki. Sorry, Kavya status of the epic I am talking about. Of course, you may interpret some passage to be promising moksha. That's a different. Sukham uttamam cha. Uttama sukham has to be moksha only, you may tell. Some people interpret in this way. That's fine. Fine. Moksha comes. Attradu patranil, uttradu veedu. Yada sarve pramuchyante kamayasya hridistitaha. Atha martyaha amruto bhavati atra brahma samasnute. When the strong egoistic attachments go away, moksha is. Okay. Probably Valmiki might not have thought moksha to be the result of reading some book. If I have to put in a rude way, very raw way, this must be the reason for which Valmiki did not promise moksha to his epic. Even a small book like Hanuman Chalisa, you may have some promise of moksha. But not Valmiki, such a huge textbook, not textbook, huge text, huge literature, which is the torchbearer of this land. It's a very interesting thing. In the same way here, Kavya. What is the Kavya Lakshana? Again, Kavya Lakshana. Oh, up to what time I have to? Okay. What is the Kavya Lakshana? Some people say Kavya means it should have Vana Varnanam, Nadi Varnanam, Nagara Varnanam, so on and so forth. These Kavyam may have all these things, but this doesn't fulfill the definition of Kavya. This is not a Lakshanam of Kavya. Kavya Lakshanam, again, Anandavardhana talks about it in his Donya Loka. Kavyam should have a single content, single theme. And of course, he talks about a single rasa. So many things may come in a Kavya, but all those things have to get attuned to that central content. This is what he says. If a book runs in this way, then it can be called as a kavya. If a story runs in this way, it can be called as a kavya. Okay. Someone is sitting, a title may be there, he may talk some other thing, how I came from Bangalore to Kolkata, how comfortable flight was. He is going on talking about it for an hour. That doesn't justify the title. And this cannot fulfill the kavya aspect of a book. So many things can come in a book. So many things author may be knowing. Author should not throb to pour everything, whatever he knows, to the audience. He has to control himself. Anandavardhana says. He has to control himself. In the book, he should present only that which attunes to the theme of that book. If that is the case, then it can be called as a kavya. Otherwise, not. It cannot be, it may be called as a kavya, but it is not an uttama kavya. Okay. More you focus on the theme. When you come to Ramayana, Valmiki highly focuses. Valmiki's content is nothing under nothing but human values, which are always relevant. Always relevant. Maharshi Valmiki never talks great things as Palashruti of the epic. Not even much boasting about the epic. This epic is excellent, this epic has everything in it. Whatever is found in the world, whatever is not found in the world, everything comes in this epic. These things Valmiki doesn't tell about his epic. That's why I said modest. Okay. But he said only one thing, which no other person said. No other person in the world said, to my knowledge, about his epic. I don't know what kind of determination or conviction Valmiki must have to proclaim like this. No other writer talks like this. What is that? Yavat sthasyanti girayaha saritascha mahitale tavad Ramayana katha lokeshu pracharishyati. This epic will remain till the rivers and the mountains and the seas will be remaining in this earth. Okay. This is the statement of Maharshi Valmiki. I am surprised. What conviction he had to tell that. See, today we are seeing in front of us this book, Valmiki Ramayana. I don't know how many years have passed between Valmiki and us. I'm not going into the topic. Okay. I'm not going into the topic because I don't know about it. Simple. But regarding that, I read many books. I can tell up to that. Probably I can convey to you what they are telling. What they are telling. In Puranic traditions, they say several lakhs of years have passed. And the scholars like Vartak or Pushkar Bhatnagar or even Abdul Kalam, they have done something about it. And they are telling, or Nilesh work, 11,000, 7,000, so many things. And archaeologists, since they don't have equipments to go beyond some 4,000 years, regarding the history. What history? Person's history. They may tell you, like B.P. Lal, 3,000 years. Okay. So let us take this 3000 years to be its lowest limit, okay? Even if you take this to be the lowest limit, in last 3000 years the epic continues. A very rare book which can continue for 3000 years. Please understand. Minimum date. Please understand this to be the minimum date of the epic. Okay. And again, 3000 years the epic is running. The stream of the epic is running. Or 5000 years, or 7000 years, or 11,000 years. The stream of epic is running. Not because of his theology, not because a huge group was spreading this everywhere throughout the world, telling that if you don't believe in it, you will be damned, you will be doomed to the eternal hell. Not because of the promises of eternal hell. But there is a natural, consistent flow of the epic found here in Asia, not only in India. Okay. I don't know. Maharshi Valmiki clearly says the epic will remain till rivers and the mountains of the world remain. What guts he has, what conviction he has to tell that. Yavat stasyanti girayaha saritascha mahitale tavad Ramayana katha lokeshu pracharishyati. Of course, this shloka I see also in a very interesting way. I interpret this shloka in this way. Ramayana is relevant always like rivers and mountains. Mountains are always relevant. Rivers are always relevant. Nowhere, at no time, Ganga will become irrelevant. At no time, Himalayas will become irrelevant to the world. That kind of relevance Ramayana has simply because it deals with the human values. Epic I have translated, it starts with human values. So the content of the epic is nothing but human values, and the author is totally focused on this content. He never deviates from it. Whatever he talks, all those things are getting attuned to the human values and the humanity, and this humanity is always relevant. It has universal relevance. And the beginning chapters of Valmiki Ramayana are very great, filled with human values in didactic way even, culminating in a beautiful story after a few chapters. Even description of Ayodhya is filled with human values. The first chapter is filled with human values. The second chapter is filled with the empathy, the bird story, that also is filled with human value, empathy, compassion. And again, the 12 virtues of Rama in the first two chapters of Ayodhya Kanda. These are all the general qualities even any human being will prefer to practice, whether he is a Christian or a Muslim or a communist. If I just go on explain these chapters of Valmiki, first two chapters of Ayodhya Kanda or first chapter of Balakanda, anyone can enjoy. Even a communist will enjoy if he sits and patiently listens. Even a Christian can enjoy, or a Muslim can enjoy. That is why we have, I think it's a question I should not reveal. Okay. That is why we have dash, dot. He is going to give you several questions. Among those, this question comes. And this kind of relevance is there beyond the religions. Beyond the religions, beyond the cults, beyond the sects, beyond the languages, and mainly beyond the castes. Okay. You see various Ramayana contributors, they are all belonging to different castes. Sant Ekanath Tulsidas is a Brahmin. Ranganatha Ramayan, Buddha Ganna Reddy is a Reddy Garu. Even his very name can reveal. Kamban is a weaver. Elutachan is a fisherman. See the Ramayana makers. We don't know what Valmiki belongs to. But the popular belief, even Dr. Ambedkar talks about it. Valmiki is a tribal man, he says. Valmiki was a tribal man. This is a popular belief, but in the text, we don't see anything about him. Like in Kalidasa's text, you can't see anything about Kalidasa. In Shakespeare's text, Shakespeare, nothing can be seen about Shakespeare. The same thing is maintained by Maharshi Valmiki. And so beyond castes and creeds and sects and religions, the epic is flowing. Even the previous Prime Minister of England, David Cameron, he was telling, family values are going away from England and the government is very much sad about it. Indians have a Ramayana-like epic to guide them. That kind of some story has to come to England. He was mentioning it before some 7 years. I saw in some newspaper. I have that cutting also. I did not have planned today to talk about it. This is the kind of universal relevance which the epic has. So, and just for a few more minutes, some 5 minutes. Ideal. Okay. Ideal hero he is. Okay. You take ideal brotherhood. The best example we see in Ramayana is Bharata, is Lakshmana, Shatrughna, of course. Ideal friendship. Guha. Okay. Nobody can think that the king or prince can have friendship with a tribal person, friendship with a hunter. And Guha's friendship with Rama was not new, for your information. Some stories run in that way. Guha has not seen Rama before. This is what some other epics are telling. But in Valmiki's Ramayana, their friendship was very old, from their childhood days. Ideal friendship is Guha, ideal friendship is Sugriva. And ideal woman, Sita Devi. Ideal womanhood we can see in her. And an ideal servant is Sumantra. And ideal power, we can say, ideal might or power or energy, Hanuman. Okay. And the ideal mother is Kausalya. In this way, all these characters are ideals guiding this nation, India, can guiding many of the places of Asia too, have the potential to guide the whole of the world. And that is why Ramayana is always relevant. Even in TV serials, Ramayana comes again and again. And whether they broadcast with a very great devotion or in the rich light or in the poor light, whatever may be, these serials are watched again and again without getting bored. And regarding other serials, PRT rate becomes lesser and in middle they get stopped. But regarding Ramayana, it always ends. It always ends, and the TRP rates are very higher regarding Ramayana, especially regarding Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana. In this way, people love to see Ramayana. Before some 1500 years, Ramayana was staged. Various dramas came in the form of Rama. like what to say, Abhisheka Natakam or Pratima Natakam. Abhisheka Natakam and Pratima Natakam must be the oldest available dramas of the world, for your information. Bhasa's dramas. Then only Kalidasa. Then only Bhavabhuti. Uttara Ramacharitam or Veera Ramacharitam. And then Anarga Raghava, Prasanna Raghava, Udatta Raghava. Okay, all these dramas were staged before a millennium. Okay, fine. Now, drama practice is very less, but things are broadcasted through television. On those days, the dramas were staged in Sanskrit. Now, in the regional languages have changed. The mode of communication is changed. Technology got changed. Drama to serial. Technology got changed. But Ramayana never changed. Same Ramayana is watched, enjoyed, and all. So let me conclude with a statement of Prasanna Raghava. Before some 1100 years, there was a poet called Murari. He is a dramatist. He starts his Ramayana drama, which is called as Anarga Raghava, with a question, why Rama again? Before some 800 years, I think in 12th century, Jayadeva comes, his book is, wonderful book is Prasanna Raghavam. He also starts with the question, why Rama again? Just before some 30 years, a very great poet who won the Jnanapita Award, his name is Vishwananda. Vishwanatha Satyanarayanalu. Maybe Andhra people may be familiar with that name. Anybody from Hyderabad? Okay. Familiar with that name. Is a very famous Telugu writer. Vishwanatha or Vishwananda, I think. Vishwananda Satyanarayanalu. He wrote a wonderful epic in Telugu named Ramayana Kalpaka Vrikshamo. Telugu is rich with various Ramayanas like Ranganatha Ramayana, so on and so forth. But still writing Ramayana is continuing. There, in the beginning, he starts with the same question, why Rama again? Even the very question, why Rama, runs for a millennium here. Starting from Murari to Vishwananda Satyanarayana. Vishwanatha Satyanarayana. And the answer is the same. Again, Rama, because of human values, because of humanity found in the epic. So, with this, we are starting the session and we will have this satsanga with the grace of the divine for these few days with meditation and yoga and also with Ramayana talks. Dhanyavadaha. Jai Shri Ram.